Writing exponential functions is very, very similar. All right, we're going to look at how to do it by hand and how to do it using a calculator, just in case it's on the non-calculator section. So this will be the steps by hand, this will be the steps by calculator. So we'll do each example both ways. All right, so example 1, you're given coordinates, right? If you're doing it by hand, you first make a table. So let's go ahead and make a table. So this is my x value, this is my y value for all of them. Okay, I'm going to leave a couple of spaces here and you'll see why in a little bit. So my x value is 2, my y value is 20. My x value is 3, my y value is 40. My x value is 4, my y value is 80. My x value is 5, my y value is 160. So the first thing it says, make a table. Write exponential equation with spaces for a, b, blank. Y equals that, parentheses, that, close parentheses, that.
This is a listening check. Color in X and Y in the table.
Find the rate. So you need to find how it's changing. So this time they don't tell it to you, you need to find it. And the way you do that is you take your second y value and divide it by your first y value. And you just need to make sure it's each time x is going up by 1. So you can see that x goes 2, 3, 4, 5. So what they're saying is you take this and divide it by this, that's going to give you a rate of change. So 40 divided by 20, and no need to get it wrong if you have a calculator, is 2. So what that means is my rate of change is I'm always multiplying by 2. So from 20 to 40 is multiplying by 2. From 40 to 80 is multiplying by 2. From 80 to 160 is multiplying by 2. This is how you know it's exponential, is when you're multiplying by a certain number. So you're multiplying by 2. So that's my rate of change. Find your initial a. So you're going to look for when x is 0. So you see, I don't have when x is 0, which means I need to find when x is 0, which is why I left this space, because I'm going to go from 2 backwards, I'm going to go 1, and then backwards I'm going to go 0. So I need to find this number. Okay. So if I don't have it given to me, use your answer from step 3 right here to go back or forwards until you get it. All right, so if I'm multiplying by 2 each time this way, if I go backwards, what would I need to do to get to the previous number? Divide by 2, because it's the opposite, right? So 80 divided by 2 is 40, divided by 2 is 20, divided by 2 is 10, divided by 2 is 5, and I've now found what my 0 is. Okay, so going forwards, you're multiplying, going backwards, you're divided. So now I found my initial, okay, when x is equal to 0. Plug in a and b into spaces. So remember, this is y equals a, b, x. Okay, so my rate of change is I'm multiplying it by 2.
This is a listening check. Color in the 2 in the box.
All right, my initial, when x is equal to 0, make sure when x is 0, it's 5. It's x, and this is y. So we're really just writing the equation. So y is 5, 2 to the x. So from here, I can find anything. If they tell me x is 20, okay, then I would just go 5, open parenthesis, 2, raise to the power of 20. When x is 20, y is that. Okay, so I can find any number once I find the equation. All right, so that's how you do it by hand.
All right, so using the calculator, after you open it, it says click the top left corner, plus, and then table. So here's the top left, plus, and then table. Input x and y values into the table. So I'm going to input my x and y values. So first one's x, second one is y. Don't use the ones you found, but the ones that are given in the problem. So I'm given 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2, enter, 3, enter, 4, enter, 5, enter. And then the y values are going to be 20, 40, 80, 160. 20, enter, 40, enter, 80, enter, 160. All right, so those are your values. So it says put those in. Bottom left of the table, click plus to zoom in to fit your points. So bottom left of the table, if you want to click plus, you can zoom fit it. So you see zoom fitted my points over here. And then it says click the keypad bottom left to show the keypad, and you're going to type in the equation. All right, so I'm just going to move this a little bit more that way and make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. I can already see it goes like this, right? So we're going to click the keyboard and we're going to input this equation. So it says y, and then you don't actually have to follow these instructions to get the 1. You just press the 1 and it puts it on there. Squiggly line, ABC, squiggly line, ABC squiggly line. Then A, parentheses, B. Okay, so A, B, C, then B. Close the parentheses. So 1, 2, 3, close. All right, to get the power, shift 6 to raise the power, or you can do this one or this one. I'm going to do that one. Only I need to change the 2 to an X because obviously that says X, not 2. And then to get this 1, you just hit the 1. You can also do it this way, but that's shorter, just hit the 1. As soon as you do that, you notice what it did? It drew the points. I'm just going to minimize this real quick. It drew the points or your graph through your points. So again, if this graph does not go through all your points, something just happened. Okay, so double check that you actually typed in what we typed. Use the answers A equals and B equals to write the exponential equation. So just like we found before, A is equal to 5, B is equal to 2. So my equation is equal to Y equals, it goes A, which is 5, B, which is 2, to the power shift 6 of X. And notice that red line is going to go exactly over that black line. So you can you can do it by hand or you could do it by calculator. Sometimes it's faster to do it by hand, but it's definitely your choice.
All right, let's take a look at another example. So we'll do it by hand and then using a calculator. So first step is make a table. If it isn't, it is a table already, that's fine. Write the equation with spaces for A, B blank. So again, you start off with the original equation, which is Y, A, B, X for exponentials. And you write it with everything blank. Well, really it says A, B blank, I'm sorry. So, okay. All right, so you write that. Find the rate B. Remember, to find the rate, you just do the second one divided by the first. Each time X is going up by 1. So it goes, X goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm dividing the second divided by the first one. All right, so second mode to quit. If I do 1.6 divided by 0.4 is 4. So that means I'm multiplying to here is I'm multiplying by 4. And now I'm just going to check the rest. Now, if it doesn't work on the rest, this is not an exponential function, as long as X is going up by 1. So I start at 1.6 times 4 should give me 6.4. Times 4 should give me 25.6. So that's true. So exponential function is every time you're multiplying by the same number. That's how you know it's exponential. All right, so that's my B, right? So find my rate B by doing that. So my B, and here my B is 4. How do I find my initial? My initial is either they're just going to give it to me when X is 0. Do they tell me when X is 0? Nope. So if not, I use my answer from step 3 to go back forwards until I see it. Well, how do I get to X equals 0? I need to go back one more, right? So this is 0. So I go from 0 to 1. 1 to 0. So that means if I'm multiplying by 4 to get the next number, how do I get the number before? I have to divide by 4. So I start with 0.4 divided by 4. It'll give me 0.1. 0.1. And again, you can go forwards and check. So if I multiply that by 4, I'm going to get 0.4. If I multiply that by 4, I'm going to get 1.6. So just depending on where it is. If they started giving me with negatives, I would need to go forward to get to 0. It just depends on where it is. All right, so that's when my X is 0.1. So my starting is 0.1. All right, plug in A and B into the spaces I just did, and now we can just write it out. So Y equals 0.14 to the X. And we're just going to confirm that using a calculator.
Okay, so again, once you have the calculator, you click in the top left-hand side corner. Then you're going to click table. Input X and Y values in the table. So here's your X, here's your Y. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, enter 2, enter 3, enter 4, enter. Then Y values are 0.4, enter 1.6, enter 6.4, enter. And of course, always just be really careful that you're inputting exactly what it is. Double check your tables. All right, so I've inputted my table. Bottom left is going to zoom in. So right here, this is going to zoom fit it. So boom, I can see it's exponential. All right, then click the keypad bottom left of the page to show the keypad. Click that. Then type this in. So again, Y, then put 1, or you can do this part of it. To get the squiggly line, ABC squiggly line, ABC squiggly line. Then A, parentheses, B, close the parentheses. To the power of, so shift 6, or you can do this AB1 right here, X. And you need to put a 1 there. So again, just type in the 1. As soon as you do that, you should see your dots are joined in. Okay, so that's perfect. Use the answers A equals and B equals to write the exponential equation. So again, your exponential equation is y equals ABX. So A is 0.1, parentheses. B is 4, right here. And then to the power, shift 6, X. And you should see that blue line is your red line. So this is your correct equation. So you could do it by hand or by calculator. It's your choice.